Hello guys, in this video I show you some more updates over the last 2 weeks for the F1 Ultimate Career Mode, including the 1999 cars, 2 new faces and more. If you want to play the VIP version of the mod, subscribe me on Patreon for $10 per month. I got a few updates together for you before Christmas. The biggest of this is certainly the addition of the car pack for the 1999 season, so that you can continue playing your career straight away if you are already heading towards Season 2 over Christmas. The car pack is not quite finished yet, it still needs the right camera alignments for the BRR and some rear end plate sponsors like updated authentic sterling wheels and rims. There's already an updated performance for this, which you can see overlaid here. As I said before, the updates you have when you change season in the career will of course be retained, and the grid order will be messed up a bit. This is intentional since you have a butterfly effect that happened in your first season, an adjustment to have a real 1999 season, but upgrades the game makes can mess up the order with each new career. However, if you want to play the cars in Grand Prix modes, the update, and you will have the original 1999 car power. It is particularly noteworthy that the Jordan can now occasionally win a race or drive to pole under its own power. Those who watched the 1999 season surely know that Frentzen and Jordan fought Häkkinen and Irvine for the title. If they hadn't been a DNF in the lead at the Nürburgring, and if they had a bit more luck here and there, we would know 23 years later also have seen Frentzen with the Jordan the 1999 World Champions. Other significant changes including a lowering of the Sauber team to the end of the midfield and a more powerful Stewart team. Furthermore, there are also 2 more original faces of the 1998 drivers in this update. This would be Jos Verstappen and Shinji Nakano. With that, the entire 1998 grid now has real faces except for Rosset and Mark Ginny. More major updates include the addition of the new game intro with intro movie and cutscenes to the 1998 season. You have already seen this in my career video from this week. For those who haven't seen it, here is the short film again.
Performance, McLaren, Ferrari, and Benetton, the other world champions of the 1990s, are well behind them. But a change is upon us.
Hello. You must be the new one here in the paddock. You decided to join at a tough time as a rookie. The days of pre-qualifying when there were up to 20 teams are only a few years gone. But you're lucky. Through your youth career in Formula 3000 and in karting, you received a number of offers from the current teams. But first, let me introduce you to a few real changes in the current Formula 1 season. In order to break Williams' dominance, there were some rules changes for the new season. The car's width was reduced from 2 meters to 1.8. The FIA introduced groove tires to reduce the overall speed of the cars. There were also a few short-term changes. The FIA sat down with the small teams like Tyrrell, Arrows, or us, Minardi, to find a way to include them in the prize pool now that we have only 11 teams. So far, only the first 6 of each race get points. This has been changed and now the first 10 drivers get points, 25 for the winner and 1 for 10th place. Furthermore, Michael Schumacher, the president of the newly founded GPDA, a few years ago campaigned for tank stops to be banned due to the great risk of fire. This was particularly brought into focus again by the fire accident of his teammate Jos Verstappen in 1994. That's why only tire changes are allowed, and the teams now have to make sure that they can only get away with 1 filling of fuel. Those were the rule changes for the new season. I hope you find your way around the paddock quickly, but now make sure that you can get the best out of the contract talks. I know that we at Minardi are only a small team, but we will also be happy to have a talent like you. If you're interested in the job, just come to my office.
And sadly, the news has dropped out that Prost is bankrupt. After the engine deal with Peugeot fell through, the cost of the Prost team's new factory in Guyancourt exploded and the team had to file for bankruptcy. It will therefore not start for the 1998 season. The drivers Yano Trulli and Olivier Panis will try to join another team for the season, but they're only given small chances and will probably need to find a cockpit for the 1999 season. Tyrrell extend contracts with Jos Verstappen. At first, Toranosuke Takagi was considered the favorite for Tyrrell's cockpit, but an agreement was reached with Verstappen in the final moments and he will continue with his team in 1998. Minardi is considering signing Marc Genet for the 1998 season after Esteban Tuero could not raise the budget for the cockpit. Several other names for the Minardi cockpit are now being discussed. Pedro Diniz is released from his Arrows contract after Yamaha left Formula 1 with Arrows. Yamaha pay driver Diniz was fired and Arrows instead hired Jordan test driver Pedro de la Rosa. Pedro de la Rosa was no longer wanted at Jordan as Eddie Jordan was able to get a talented and more experienced test driver in Jarno Trulli after he became a free agent after the Prost bankruptcy.
In addition to the film, there is now the original FER intro before the races as well as the original F1 string for the replays and flashbacks. The complete menu has also been replaced with the graphics from the 1998 season. The exception is My Team, as compatibility is yet not been added. There are now also background graphics for the individual teams in the menu. Another thing that has been added is the 1998 helmet with the sponsors. If you want more realism in your first career season, you now have the option, as I have had in my career, to add the helmet sponsors to the 1998 driver helmets. There are also helmet sponsor templates in case the game transfers drivers during the career and you know how to export and import helmets. You can also add the sponsors to your personal helmet. As the final item for the update, there is one more thing for the 1999 car pack. There is not much that is new, but the BAR at least has its logo, and if you install the car pack, all 1998 menu logos will be replaced by 1999 logos. Now I would like to answer a few more questions about the mod that has been piling up lately. Will the Ultimate Career Mode ever be free? Yes, the mod will be free, but only when it's fully finished. When will the Ultimate Career Mode be finished and free? I reckon that will be done with it around autumn next year, and the mod will be then available for everyone. When will be an update for the GP2 bug for the F1 2007 mod? At the moment I just don't find the time for it because I'm considering on the Ultimate Career mod, but it's not forgotten. When does Hockenheim came in F1 2020? Hockenheim was actually planned for this year, but I need a few days off over the Christmas period because I worked the last weeks 10 hours a day. That's why Hockenheim is very likely coming in the beginning of January. What about Istanbul, Imola or Nürburgring for F1 2020? Istanbul and Nürburgring are impossible to implement for the F1 2020 game. The problem is that to date we cannot properly access the F1 2020 database and have to work around it, which is why the name change is also needed. Otherwise the names could simply be exchanged in the database. The problem here is that we can only change links in the ERP data and so cannot copy new 3D models. Only those from the games with the same engine. The current engine is in use from 2017 to 2020. All circuits that exist in F1 2016 or before cannot be imported into F1 2020. Imola is an interesting case as the track came out in F1 2021. Unfortunately, Codemasters changed something in a file in the ERP file so that it doesn't look like we can import Imola. However, the import of Malaysia and Hockenheim in F1 2020 seems to be possible. Why you don't work on F1 2022? Unfortunately, F1 2022 has way too many bugs. In addition, it's really difficult to import the classic cars from F1 2020 in 2022 due to the change in the ERP files. The wings in particular cause problems. It might be possible with a lot of effort, but unfortunately it's not worth the effort for a bugged game, and many of the big models of the one game also agree on that. Will there be classic mods again for the F1 games? Yes, as soon as either Codemasters or EA decides to bring classic cars back into the game, we will immediately start releasing classic mods for the current game. We are a lot further into modding and how to replace the classic cars now than we are back in the release of F1 2017. When it took 4 years before Park and Need brought out the 2003 mod with me, and the first one since F1 2013 have released classic mods with classic car models for an F1 game. What will be the next updates for the Ultimate Career Mode? The next update we will be the track skins for the 1998 season, Hockenheim and the Garage. Furthermore, the My Team compatibility should be added. I hope this will be finished by the end of January. So that would be the most important question and information about the update. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support me, subscribe on Patreon. See you in the next video. Bye!